Breaking, 3 B-52 bombers took off from Barksdale Air Force Base in Louisiana on Wednesday and flew for hours near the coast of Venezuela, according to flight tracking data, in what appears to be a major show of force by President Trump. But before we get to that, Donald Trump is threatening to strike on land in Venezuela, saying that he is going to get the CIA to attack Venezuela. Fantastic. This is what we really need right now, I think.
President Trump considering U.S. strikes on Venezuelan soil to combat drug cartels.
Well, I don't want to tell you exactly, but we are certainly looking at land now because we've got the sea very well under control.
The president also escalating U.S. operations against Venezuela's authoritarian leader, Nicolas Maduro. Trump confirming he's authorized covert CIA action in the country. But when asked if the agency has the authority to take out Maduro, Trump non-committal.
But I think Venezuela is feeling heat.
In a statement overnight, Venezuela accusing Trump of trying to legitimize a regime change operation to access the country's oil resources.
Would another Iraq cause incredible civil unrest, the level of Vietnam due to deteriorated living conditions? I don't even fucking know anymore, man. I don't even know. I don't know. I feel like there is no way that America recovers from that. Okay? There is no fucking way. I don't even think there's enough appetite amongst the military to engage in this kind of fuck shit. But what do I know? Maybe I'm wrong. I do feel like there probably would be a lot more discontent. Like I feel like this guy is creating the conditions for an officer's rebellion, you know, like a thing that hasn't really happened in the United States of America in the past. It seems like it could happen, especially with like once I watched the Pete Hegseth Donald Trump like dressing down of all the generals. That's when I realized like this is actually so psychotic. Like this will be a danger.
Sources saying they would bring up the matter at the UN Security Council today. It comes after the U.S. strike on an alleged drug boat off the coast of Venezuela. Trump posting this video on social media saying 6 male narco-terrorists aboard the vessel were killed in the strike.
Military has commie grocery stores, though? Yeah, they're trying to take that away, too. Donald Trump floated selling the commissary structure to a private corporation. For the record, Donald Trump wants to sell the publicly owned grocery stores that the military has to a private owner. I swear to God, they're entertaining a revolt. Like they want like a military rebellion to take place, I think. Anyway, yeah, I think Hegseth and Trump should do these meetings where they insult generals once a month. Do it once a week. Historically speaking, military leaders love this. Yeah, we're in a very weird place right now in the United States of America, and I do think that a lot of people are oblivious to exactly what's going on. But it is crazy that like the American military is entertaining just blowing up and not entertaining, just like straight up blowing up fishermen off the coastline of a totally sovereign nation that we have declared a foreign adversary, and claiming that we're doing that to like somehow save the Venezuelan population, and you know, like Maduro, hate Maduro, doesn't fucking matter. Ultimately, America is playing a very, very dangerous game here. Very violent, unrestrained, utterly psychotic force of evil on the planet. How else do you look at the situation and see it as anything but that? Check the tweet. He sent B-52 bombers to fly over Venezuela. Breaking, 3 B-52 bombers took off from Barksdale Air Force Base in Louisiana on Wednesday and flew for hours near the coast of Venezuela, according to flight tracking data, in what appears to be a major show of force by President Trump. What the fuck? Will this cause all of the pro-NATO, pro-defense liberals to also say, wow, my president is being quite presidential? Is that what they're gonna say? Like this is saber rattling, and it's beyond saber rattling. This is not like even paper tiger shit. This is just straight up like entertaining war. President of peace. I'm Trinidadian, and apparently the 2 Trinis were on this boat that they destroyed, and our insane prime minister is defending it. Oh, thank God. Wonderful. I cannot. I don't know, man. I feel like this is so crazy, and it is happening at a time when there is already not unprecedented discontent, but like tremendous discontent, right? Like people are not happy with their day-to-day existence. Everything is getting worse rapidly at an alarming rate. Everything is shittier. than it was a year prior. Okay? And all this guy is doing, all this Mad King is doing is basically, let's expand the conflict. You know what would be really good right now? A hot war in the Latin American continent. What the fuck?
The Trump administration's operation in the Caribbean first began in September and has drawn fierce condemnation from Democratic lawmakers who say the strikes risk getting the U.S. into a full-fledged war.
There's lots of people who have been designated terrorists. That does not automatically give the authority to take lethal action.
Asked why he's striking the boats instead of using traditional Coast Guard operations where officers can verify who is on the boat, Trump saying the Coast Guard boats are too slow.
They have faster boats.
It's crazy.
Some of these boats are seriously, they're world-class speedboats. But they're not faster than missiles.
Like, no one is even asking the question, like, why we have no business being there. Okay, we have no business. Like, the argument of narco-terrorism, like combating narco-terrorism, is so fucking stupid and so hollow that, like, I don't even think most people who would be on board with militarism of this sort are capable of justifying this level of belligerency.
So far, the administration has provided limited details and no evidence to prove that the 27 people killed were attempting to traffic drugs to the U.S. as they claim.
So there's a 1 in 4 chance.
It's crazy.
In a memo obtained by ABC News earlier this month, the administration told Congress that America is in a formal armed conflict and that drug cartels are deemed unlawful combatants. Now, the Venezuelan government has repeatedly denounced the U.S. strike, saying they are, quote, a pure violation of international rights. Maduro calling them, quote, aggression all down the line. But U.S. officials accuse Maduro of facilitating drug trafficking from Venezuela, a claim he denies.
A boat in the sea and an
We have no business there, but what is Trump's business? What motivates him to do this? I think war is good for the war economy. Maybe it's Venezuela has massive oil reserves. It's not as good as like the Saudi oil, but still.
coming missile. This video was shared with the world by President Trump. He said the US destroyed a Venezuelan boat ferrying drugs to America. 6 people were killed.
We've talked about this already. I already gave you guys like the rundown a while back when this first started happening. But narco trafficking patterns are pretty clear, right? It doesn't happen. Like Venezuela is not a hub for drug trafficking. It never has been. There is no evidence whatsoever that these guys that the Trump administration is killing are actually drug traffickers in general. And even if they were drug traffickers, this is not the appropriate way to deal with that. You're supposed to apprehend them. You're supposed to, first of all, demand that Venezuela apprehend them, okay? And if they don't apprehend them, you're supposed to track them and apprehend them with your own naval vessels and after conducting a proper investigation.
The CIA's usually highly secret potential plans in Venezuela. In the Oval Office, he confirmed he has authorized the Central Intelligence Agency to conduct covert operations in the South American country.
I authorized for 2 reasons, really. Number one, they have emptied their prisons into the United States of America. They came in through the border. They came in because we had an open border policy. And as soon as I heard that, I said, a lot of these countries, they're not the only country, but they're the worst abuser. And they've entered they've allowed thousands and thousands of prisoners, mental institution, people from mental institutions, insane asylums, emptied out into the United States. We're bringing them back, but that's a really bad, and they did it at a level that probably not, many countries have done it, but not like Venezuela. They were down and dirty. And the other thing are drugs. We have a lot of drugs coming in from Venezuela. And a lot of the Venezuelan drugs come in through the sea, so you get to see that. But we're going to stop them by land also.
Venezuela is by no means the biggest exporter of illicit drugs in South America. And the claim it's sending prisoners...
Not even fucking close, dude. Not even close. Like, it's ridiculous. Donald Trump launched a coup attempt against Venezuela in 2019, boasting of nearly collapsing the country through sanctions and economic war. He said, we would have taken it over. We would have gotten all of that oil. This is from a 2023 speech at a Republican Party event. This has been his like major priority. I've always said he's like he has a sympathy for authoritarian strongmen, except for Maduro. Weirdly enough, he's always hated Maduro. He's always hated Venezuela. And I guess like the primary reason for it is that someone told him that Venezuela has major natural oil reserves. And he's like, I want it. I want it bad. I want it more than anything else. And so that's what it is.
Venezuela. How about we're buying oil from Venezuela? When I left, Venezuela was ready to collapse. We would have taken it over. We would have gotten all that oil. It would have been right next door. Venezuela. How about we're buying oil from Venezuela?
Yeah. As you guys know, the sanctions regime greatly escalated under Trump 1. Obama basically created an environment where sanctions were seen as the perfect and most appropriate measure, where you could take unilateral action against like, economic market competitors and things like that. And Trump was like, oh my God, this is a fantastic opportunity to do regime change all around the world, specifically in Venezuela. Now, of course, famously, in the aftermath of making the economy scream in Venezuela with this accelerated sanctions regime, there was a fuck ton of Venezuelans who obviously escaped the country due to the economic turmoil and due to the material conditions deteriorating and the Maduro regime turning around and really putting the fucking clamp on people that expressed any kind of discontent because they felt like they were being attacked from Western imperialist forces. And there is some truth to that argument, right? But what did Donald Trump do? He literally gave temporary protected status to the Venezuelans that were escaping the country. And he said, you can come here. We will protect you. We'll give you temporary protected status. This is a common practice for America in general, right? And then now he's actually shutting off the temporary protected status and saying hundreds of thousands of Venezuelans that came to the United States of America due to the impact of the fucking sanctions and the cruelty that came in the aftermath from the Maduro government is now they're also enemies of the state at the domestic level. Now he's using them as an opportunity to further his mass deportation agenda. It is totally transparently cruel and unusual. It makes no fucking sense. And he's also simultaneously egging on a war against Venezuela. It's just all kinds of fucked up. It's burning the candle on both ends in many respects. After the strike yesterday, another small boat idling boat in the Caribbean, SOCOM has murdered a total of 27 people. I'm now seeing 2 Boeing B-52 Stratofortress long-range strategic bombers doing figure eights directly off the coast of Caracas. Very subtle. Yesterday, a second AC-130J Ghost Rider gunship was spotted at the task force base in Puerto Rico. It was broadcasting its position from the ground, reportedly equipped with laser-guided AGM-114 Hellfire missiles. Republicans and Democrats on Capitol Hill have left briefings about the strikes, frustrated with the lack of information. Some have asked for unedited videos of the strike, reflecting the kind of basic information they seek, but the admin has so far refused to provide it. Lawmakers are also asking the admin to explain who was killed in the strikes. Now, this is a direct consequence of years and years of expanding the executive power on warfare, okay? Back in the day, at least there was a process where even if all of the American government's forces, regardless of party loyalty, were united on expanding America's military adventurism in the global South, obviously there was still like some kind of process where you would have to show your work. You would have to prove why you were doing this kind of stuff, regardless of the ambitions of the Democrats and the Republicans both, right? And that was still important because maybe years down the line or maybe in the immediate aftermath of actions like this, you could demand some transparency. You could demand additional information. Nowadays, this is the logical conclusion of the Bush era endless militarism and the continuation of executive powers in regards to constantly bombing foreign adversaries that we've declared foreign adversaries under the Obama administration and then under Trump 1 and then Joe Biden and then Trump 2. We are here now.
To the US is widely disputed. Since September, the US has attacked at least 5 boats in the Caribbean. The administration says it's in armed conflict with drug cartels. UN-appointed human rights experts say the strikes are extrajudicial executions.
No war, just peace.
Even as Venezuela...
So many Americans call for the toppling of the authoritarian so-called President Trump, President Xi, deliver us freedom and prosperity. Hasan, I wonder if this example would fucking up Americans' eyes absurdity of that statement. Exactly. Like we jokingly say, President Xi, fire when ready, okay? But obviously, the reason why we joke about that is because we are the United States of America. There is no more powerful force on the planet than the United States of America as it stands currently, okay?
Venezuela denies the boats were carrying drugs. The president himself, Nicolas Maduro, has been accused by some American officials of being part of a drug trafficking network. He denies that and suggests the US wants regime change.
Estados contra Argentina.
We remember the coups against Argentina, the coup by Pinochet, and the 5,000 young people assassinated and disappeared. How long will CIA coups continue? Latin America does not want them, does not need them, and repudiates them.
The CIA...
Trump is operating like a dying king, wants legacy, conquer Greenland, Venezuela, and Gaza. He just murdered another boat, killed them. Narrative is bullshit. Yeah. There is no world where this kind of action is justifiable, okay? The only reason why Trump is doing this is because he can do it. Okay. And ironically enough, this kind of initiative actually hardens Maduro's position and it justifies Maduro's position. It actually makes the other regional allies that normally are critical of Maduro, for example, for trying to do an incursion into Guyana, right? Turn around and say, actually, we're going to harden our position and we're going to support Maduro in this process because they too have in recent history experienced American intervention of sorts. Okay. That's it. This, I hope, will cause Latin American countries, Latin American leadership, the ones that aren't completely servile to the U.S., like Argentina, to look at this, to look at the situation and maybe even develop stronger ties with China.
Has a long and controversial record in South America, carrying out operations in several countries, including Chile. It's admitted that during the coup of 1973, it actively supported the military junta which took over, leading to the rise of Augusto Pinochet, whose dictatorship saw human rights abuses, forced disappearances and mass executions. Nicolas Maduro is widely accused of having stolen elections last year, but the US really doesn't like the Venezuelan president. It says he's an indicted drug trafficker and has put up a $50 million reward for information leading to his arrest and or conviction. In response to the...
I got it. He's in Caracas. That'll be $50 million, please. Thank you. There you go. Easy money, baby. Let's go.
Escalating tensions, Nicolas Maduro has put the army on the streets of the capital, Caracas, and the surrounding area. The government says to coordinate defense. The military has also been giving civilians weapons training. This woman is being shown the ropes of an anti-aircraft machine. They've been told the US wants a change of president because it wants their oil and other resources. What Donald Trump's game plan in the Caribbean is unclear. Asked if the CIA has been given authority to remove Nicolas Maduro, he didn't deny it.
Does the CIA have authority to take out Maduro?
Oh, I don't want to answer a question like that. That's a ridiculous question for me to be given. Not really a ridiculous question, but wouldn't it be a ridiculous question for me to answer? But I think Venezuela's feeling heat.
The U.S.
I'm going to be honest. The reason why they're asking you that question is because you do end up answering it. I mean, he quite literally said the other day that, yes, the CIA is doing an operation